Passive voice can be a tricky concept, especially when we throw phrasal verbs into the mix. So, let's dive right in. First, let's clarify what passive voice is. In a passive sentence, the focus shifts from the doer of the action to the receiver of the action. For example, in the active voice, we might say, "The chef cooked the meal." Here, the chef is the doer. But in passive voice, it becomes, "The meal was cooked by the chef." Now, the meal takes center stage. When it comes to phrasal verbs, which are verb phrases that combine a verb with a preposition or adverb, the structure can change a bit. Take the phrasal verb give up. In active voice, you might say, "She gave up the project." To convert this to passive voice, you would say, "The project was given up by her." Notice how the focus is now on the project, not on who gave it up. To form the passive voice, you generally need the verb to be plus the past participle of the main verb. So if we take another phrasal verb like look after, in active voice you might say, "He looks after the kids." In passive voice it becomes, "The kids are looked after by him." Now, let's talk about when to use passive voice. It's particularly useful when the doer is unknown or irrelevant. For instance, if we say, "The documents were lost," we don't need to specify who lost them. This can be especially handy in formal writing or when the focus is on the action itself rather than the actor. Another example is with the phrasal verb run into. In active voice, you might say, "I ran into an old friend." In passive voice, it could be, "An old friend was run into by me." While this sounds a bit awkward, it illustrates how passive voice can shift the focus. Let's consider another phrasal verb, take over. In active voice, you might say, "The new manager took over the project." In passive voice, it would be, "The project was taken over by the new manager." This structure emphasizes the project rather than the manager. It's important to note that not all phrasal verbs work smoothly in passive voice. Some, like give up or take over, can easily be transformed, while others may not lend themselves to this structure. In summary, when you're using phrasal verbs in passive voice, remember to identify the object of the action, use the appropriate form of to be, and then the past participle of the verb. This will help you create clear and effective passive sentences. So, whether you're writing an essay, crafting a report, or just trying to spice up your language skills, mastering the passive voice with phrasal verbs can add depth and variety to your communication. Keep practicing, and soon enough, you'll be switching between active and passive voice with ease.